Bitcoin looks to be on the rise as of August 7th. You can see we're at that $116,000 mark. We recently came down to this $112,000 mark in the last few days, and we are now on our way back up, and we are going to look at what to expect in the next coming days. Before we get into futuristic possibilities, let's go into the past a little bit and see what has happened over the recent weeks and or months. Taking us back to December, way back here at this peak, we almost had this double top before we fell down. So let's take a look at that here. We're going to touch this wick right here and draw a trend line, touching as many wicks as we possibly can, and you can see we have this very strong, what was a resistance line became a support line. Now following down below, we can also see we had this very strong support line here, and we were in this channel where we were jumping back and forth between a huge range of $75,000 all the way up to this $100,000 mark before we finally broke above it once again, and it treated it as support. Now again, just visually looking, we do have some areas of support and resistance, but the one that stands out to me the most is over here, looking left. Left is your friend. If we just draw a support or resistance line right there, a horizontal line, you can see we have resistance, 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 came up here, resistance, briefly acted as support, resistance, resistance, support. So this is a very strong line at this $106,000 mark. Now what I'm always looking for is a break of structure. So looking back here to this May 22nd, we had that peak there. So let's mark that out. And then you can see right here on July 10th, we finally broke above that. So now that we have that drawn, I'm going to grab my horizontal line tool again. I'm going to mark that out, and you can see we perfectly respected that as a support as it was a previous resistance. Now I use my Fibonacci tools a lot when I'm looking at the charts. And as I mentioned, I look for a break in structure. So this leg right here, where we had these few bearish candles before we broke this most recent high, I draw my fib from the bodies of that leg to the high of this zone, which is right here at $119,000. We came down and we touched our 62 level fib, which is what I always look for. I'm going to draw this out for you right here. So I have our 62 level down to our 79 level. That is our golden zone, or at least my golden zone, and you can see we perfectly touched there before ultimately we ended up taking off and we're coming back up. Now, of course, that we're on the rise, our very short-term goal is going to be to touch this 0% fib level again at $119,000. As you can see, these are my targets here, this 27% level and this 62% level. And the values are $123,000, which we've already respected over here. And so our next target is going to be this level again to reach that previous all-time high. And then we will be breaking into price discovery. And my next target would be this 62 level mark at $127,000. If you take a look at this page right here, you can see that for the month of August, price is expected to go to between $125,000 to $141,000. We haven't quite hit that yet, but if we do, everything will be very good in the markets. Now from this current range of $116,000 up to that $140,000 mark that we potentially could be hitting, let's just round it off at $140,000. That would be a 20% increase, which would be phenomenal. I wouldn't really expect it to get that much higher in this bull run. I don't really see this happening in the month of August. Now I could be wrong, I'm just speculating here. But between now and October, where I think the peak of our bull run is going to be, I do think that's not necessarily out of the question. But I don't see us getting much higher than this $150,000 mark ultimately. I think we'll get very close, if not just hit it, but I don't see us getting to a parabolic, $170,000 mark by any means, at least in this bull run. Now, this is just my view on Bitcoin as we currently look at the chart live. You might have other predictions that you may have come up with or other ideas as to where price might land. I'd be more than glad to hear them. Go ahead and comment down below what you think the Bitcoin price might ultimately hit, both in your short-term and long-term goals. I'd love to hear your speculations down below. As far as this video goes, we're going to wrap this up. If you have any other coins you'd like me to do an analysis on and see where price may ultimately go in the short-term and long-term, by all means, leave a comment down below. I'd love to do a video and post it for you. Thanks a lot, guys. See you in the next one.